Hey everyone, welcome to the Bolt Crew podcast. Again, it's the post game. Chargers lose on Monday Night Football 30-23, fall to 7-4 on the season against the Baltimore Ravens. A lot to talk about. I know a lot of frustration for many of you. Again, please subscribe and please like. It is not our fault they lost tonight. All right, I will say that. So as frustrated as everybody is, throw a like in there. We could all use it. At least we could use it. So Chargers lose, and again, it's frustrating 30-23 because I think it's a lot of questions of, are we that much worse than the Ravens? Did things not go away for certain reasons because it's the Ravens? Did the Chargers not play up to the ability, losing J.K. Dobbins, Quentin Johnson? A bunch of things to get into. A bunch of players that I think we're going to be pointing the finger at tonight to say, was this coaching or are these players that cost the team the loss? Or, Josh, do you do the old tip your hat and say the Ravens are just that good?
The Ravens are good. Chargers are good too. The second the Chargers lost this game was when J.K. Dobbins went out. The game was over. You know, it's over. I mean, there's no running game. And they showed up the graphic that the Chargers had like -6 rushing yards or whatever it was in the fourth quarter. It's horrible, Mario. The whole second half, there was no run game. Gus Edwards is a shell of what he was. He's been a backup running back for a reason, right? So when J.K. Dobbins goes out of the game, automatically the offense becomes one-dimensional, and that's what they were.
Justin Herbert finishes with more rushing yards than Gus Edwards. He finished with 4 carries for 29 yards. Gus Edwards, 9 carries for 11 yards. J.K. Dobbins finishes with 6 carries for 40 yards. Listen, I think a lot of things went wrong for the Chargers in this game, but I think most of all, guys, my biggest takeaway is that the level of talent on the Ravens is far and beyond better than the Chargers. The Chargers are a good team. They're good. They are not great. They're nothing special. And the Ravens exposed that all tonight, right? We've mentioned it over and over again at nauseum. There's problems with the receiving core. We saw that again tonight. If you looked at Twitter, what did everyone say? Just force feed Ladd because he's the only one that can catch a thing. Quentin Johnson drops another ball. Shocker. Did not see that one coming. Joshua Palmer, thanks for playing. All you did was cause penalties. Fantastic. You couldn't catch the ball to save your life. It was all up to Ladd, a second-round pick that was a wide receiver. He's a very, very good player, but you're putting way too much on him this early in his career. Defensively, they were just moved up front. We talked about it, on Thursday. Derrick Henry is that MMA fighter that stays just right in front of you the whole fight, and then his punches only get stronger throughout the fight. He is Sean Strickland. He keeps walking towards you. He keeps going at you. He never backs down. And in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, every 3rd and 1, Dave, he mauled us, broke every tackle, went straight through. They were the more physical team. They were the better team. They were the more dominant team. The Chargers are still a lot of pieces away from being a great football team, and that was proven tonight.
All right, a couple things that you touched on some great things right there. Is that the Ravens were built this year to win the Super Bowl? That was the whole idea. That was their plan. Derrick Henry was going to be one of the missing pieces, but they were built this year to win the Super Bowl. When Jim Harbaugh got this job, and I'll point to this all the time, this team picked 5th in this year's draft. I mean, just in April, they picked 5th in the draft. So we didn't think, and I don't think there's anyone out there that thought the Chargers were a Super Bowl team this year. The deal is they teased us, right? You're 7-3, you're going on primetime TV, and you're going, man, this team is ready to make a run. I kind of pointed this out a few months ago. This is not a pat on my back moment. This is me saying whenever the Chargers season does come to an end, no matter how successful of a year it was, I will be frustrated. Tonight's one of those nights that's extremely frustrating. Andrew Barr says right here on the side, remember, we're much more farther ahead than we thought we'd be. Wherever we're building. Got it. Look, there are a lot of things that are frustrating about tonight's game because there are times you go, we had a chance to be more competitive, to win, jumped out to a big lead. Let's just call it for what it is. Let's just call them guys out. All right, what is the reason why we lost this game? I don't put it on coaching. I don't. The only thing I would change in coaching, all right, and Josh, I want to ask you this, but I'm going to throw a bunch of things out there. So remember this part because I'll forget in 2 minutes, is I think we have an issue with our quarterback drops, meaning our 3-step drops should probably be 5-step drops. Our 5-step drops should probably be 7-step drops because our offensive line isn't great. And there's just too much pressure on Herbert too fast. And I understand when you're sitting and you're drawing up routes that, this is meant for a 3-drop snap. This is meant for a 5-step drop. You have to give the receivers time to get open. It's a quick pass. Understand. But, man, our offensive line, especially up the middle, has been killing us the entire year. Herbert has way too much pressure on him. He's taken way too many hits. But let's go on the offensive side. QJ, what the F? Okay. And I've been the guy that has been most critical of this guy for the longest time. Zay Flowers is sitting there going, you could have had me, dumbasses. You could have had me. But that you needed that guy right there. The guy who can't catch a ball. The guy that literally things turn around. There's a 14-point turnaround in this game when he was on the side. All they do is catch it, hit him square in the hands. It was a great pass, and then turn it up. And then they have a chance to score, but they don't. He drops the ball. Ravens go down the field. They score 7. 14-point turnaround. And then I know Josh has a whole QJ rant going, so I don't want to take too much time on QJ.
No, go ahead.
Joey Bosa, if he announces retirement tomorrow, I think we'd all be fine with it. There is nothing left in the tank, everybody. There's nothing there. He can only go one direction. That is straight. There's no lateral movement at all. The speed is gone. It's one of those where his brain tells him, I used to be able to get to that spot. I can't get to that spot anymore. I'm sorry. Right now, he moves like he's 42. And you know what? He's still supposed to be a young guy, but when he's talking about retirement, he knows his body. When the report comes out that Joey Bosa hurt his hand, dude, I don't know why that wasn't okay with me, but that's not okay with me. I don't care. I just don't care. Khalil Mack's playing with a torn groin off the bone. You know, and Joey Bosa does nothing for us. He does nothing. He just gets in the way at this point. I'm done with QJ. I'm done with the guys that can't help this team win. And I hate to say it, there are about 5 of them that show their true colors tonight. What happens when you play against a quality opponent that these guys aren't up for it, that you're paying a lot of money to. Well, I'm willing to go in another direction and find somebody that can do the job better.
Well, that was a good rant. Both of you guys had great rants on that one. Congratulations. So there's a lot of ways you can look at this and point fingers, and I'm going to do it too. I mean, you want to say it's a team game, right? But there's a few guys you just have to call out when you watch that crap, Mario. Quentin Johnston. Dude, like I told Dave, the issue with the drop pass, and this isn't even a joke, he tried to use his hands. Like he cannot catch with his hands. That's not even a joke.
No,
he can only catch with his body. It's crazy. And what did he do in the scouting combine to make you think we're going to go for this guy? When you have Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison right there, like it's nuts, Mario, that you think this guy that literally cannot use his hands is the person we're going to go for because you're enamored with his height. Who gives a crap? You could be 7 feet tall, but if you can't catch the ball, you're worthless. Another guy that Dave brought up right now is Joey Bosa. He is hurting the team, and people want to bring up his 7 pressures last game. Fantastic. When you play against the good teams like the Ravens, you get erased, and you're just taking up space on the team. Like Dave said, there's no lateral movement from Joey Bosa whatsoever. He can only move in one direction. He hurts the team. And the third person drove me nuts, Mario. Talking the big game. Christian Fulton. Exposed. You could see what the Ravens' game plan was. We're going to go for number 7 all day long. Tarheeb still very good rookie. Very happy with him. If Cam Hart was out there, it'd be a different story. Christian Fulton, to me, Mario, huge weak spot in the defense, and the Ravens exposed him time after time.
It was very clear that they loved that matchup with him versus Bateman, right? Like they did. That they were like, we can, no matter what happens, you know, if he beats him out, just throw it because we trust that Bateman can make a play on him. If not, you're going to get a penalty. And that was a common theme that we saw early on, and it benefited. It was a great plan. It worked for him. I like talking trash. I love it when you do it. I'm a big fan of it. I talk trash all the time, but if you can't back it up, then don't do it. You know, like it's just like, then shut your mouth because it's just not working out for you. And that was a problem with Fulton today. The Quentin Johnston thing, too, I think people are going to point out the obvious drop he had when he was wide open. But I go back to the Chargers' third drive in the second quarter where he's in one-on-one coverage and the ball just goes straight through his hands down to his chest and goes out. And it's like, yes, I understand that was good defense on him, but make a play. A corner's always on you. In a situation like that on that route, you have to just win the battle. Guys, he never wins that battle. I recall him one time winning that battle against the Carolina Panthers. Congratulations. I can go to, Georgetown just over there and probably find about 12 receivers that can also do that on the Carolina Panthers. Like it's not an impressive thing. He was a letdown. I think Fulton was a letdown. And I think the thing that sucks too, Dave, is the Chargers' first drive was so promising. No third downs in that first drive. None. And then from then on, man, it just fell apart. And I feel like that's something that we've even saw from the years in Staley, where there are strong starts, but the finishes have never been there. And on top of that, I texted you guys this, and then I wrote it down. Just a quick reminder that only once this year the Bolts have came back from being down at half, and that was against the Las Vegas Raiders. Just once. I think you got to do that a little bit more than once. You shouldn't be down, but if you are, you need some examples of coming back and winning the game.
All right. A couple other things real quick on last thing I'll say about Joey Bosa. All right. Joey Bosa trying to find the angle to get to the quarterback. How far off the line is he getting? And I'm not talking like back towards the safety. I'm talking towards the sideline. Like if you know Los Angeles, he is standing like next to the Forum at this point and just running across the street to get a good angle. He's never going to get there. He's never going to get there. We're never going to get the pressure that we need. Here's the part that's scary, Mario. This team was really shaky against the Bengals in the second half, right? And they could do whatever they wanted. It felt like the Ravens could do whatever they wanted. Derrick Henry, I understand, is a freak. You aren't going to run into another Derrick Henry in the NFL. Derrick Henry could do whatever he wanted. We couldn't stop it. And how many times did we tell you last week? Watch Derrick Henry. He loves to go left. Yet, man, he had so much success going left. It was very, very disappointing to see what was happening. Jesse Minter, we're all big fans on this show of Jesse Minter. We think he's one of the top defensive coordinators in the league. At the same time, Jesse Minter right now is probably changing into his half polo zip before he gets his car keys and goes home. And he's thinking, I don't have the horses. I just don't have the horses to do the defense that I want to do. I can call all the plays you want. I can sit there and come up with all the schemes to stop guys like Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers. But I don't have the guys on the field to do what I want to do. And I hate to say, as an excuse, we kind of expected some of this, right? It's the fans want to say coaches lose games, players win games. But this is one of those where the players lost the game.
Oh, Joe Ortiz lost this game. Joe Ortiz put this team together. And I understand that Joe Ortiz isn't going to have a roster full of his guys, but for my God, there's no depth when a few guys are lost. Like Denzel Perryman's not out there today. It was so obvious that Denzel Perryman was not on the field. Cam Hart is not on the field. And you're depending on a 5th round pick in Cam Hart like he's, Darrelle Revis. But that's kind of the point where that's kind of where we're at right now with this defense, Mario. Asante Samuel Jr. is not out there. Christian Fulton is not the player he was at the beginning of the season. Tarheeb still has been very good, but without Cam Hart, it's like, whoa, it's obvious. It's pretty nuts. The interior offensive line, to me, Mario, also is just a giant weak spot. We've talked about this the entire season. You have Trey Pipkins with a phantom penalty at the end, right? I think that was a horrible call. Everybody could see that. But Trey Pipkins as a whole is not a very good guard. Zion Johnson had his usual penalties that he always has. Not a very good guard. Another wasted pick by Tom Telesco in the first round, right? QJ and Zion Johnson. And then Bradley Bozeman has just been an average to below average center this year. So the Chargers really need to upgrade that interior offensive line. I have no idea how Justin Herbert moves the ball. I honestly, God, you watch this Chargers team and you're thinking you have one guy you can depend on in Ladd McConkey, and then you have Will Disley, the blocking tight end, who is your second biggest threat in the pass game. Josh Palmer, you nailed it. He just picks up penalties. He's not a real threat in the passing game. And then QJ can only catch with his body. And even when he's wide open, you don't even know if he's going to catch the ball. So I have no idea, Mario, how this team even moves the ball if J.K. Dobbins is out in this next game or for any game. They cannot move the ball on the ground without J.K. Dobbins. And in the passing game, Justin Herbert has to pull off miracles to move the ball down the field.
I think we also learned how important J.K. is to this team because it felt like when he went out, energy went out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a certain energy that they kind of feel when he's in there with them. And I think that was pretty evident tonight, at least, where I was like, all right, so that guy's a big heartbeat in that locker room. So that screams volumes. I think with the defense, I'll push back a little bit. I think they have the tools. I just don't think they got anything from the other side. Like I think the offense did them absolutely zero favors tonight. You're playing against an offense that's about to set a record in NFL history for most yards per play, right? And to help them out, they hold it to a field goal. The Chargers repay them, coming out of the second half by getting down the field but not finishing the drive, a problem that they've had this year. And then when the Ravens bounce back with a touchdown, which they're going to do, you have a drive where an offensive holding on Pipkins takes away a huge pass interference that was on the Ravens that could have put the Chargers, I think, inside the 30. And then the next play, you have a crossing route for a former first-round pick that the only person near him is Jesus Christ himself, and he drops the ball. So I don't know if this is all on the defense. It's more the offense just never really helped them. And in times when they really need breaks, because again, they're going against an offense that just never slows down. They were never given a break. It was, hey, we kind of need more from you here. And it's like we're already a unit that's playing above what we can play at. Now you're asking us to take this to a whole different level in a really tough situation against the best offense in the NFL, against the best backfield that we've probably seen with Lamar and Henry in a decade? Like, that's a lot to ask of Jesse Minter and the fellas.
It's a lot to ask. I mean, here we go. So on third downs, I mean, those are the killers, right? Can you stop a team on third down? Can you force them to punt? Ravens were at 8 of 15. On fourth down, they were 3 of 3. It's frustrating. When you can't get your defense off the field, it is frustrating. It is not only is it a boost to obviously the offense, meaning the Ravens, but it's a shot for the Chargers. And we got to start all over again. They keep getting closer to the end zone, and we have to sit there and pull it together. It is very, very frustrating. You say all the time, do you want to play championship style football? What will it take for the Chargers to hit that next level? The Ravens are at that next level. Going in, the record obviously showed that the Ravens had 4 losses. We had 3. We know our schedule is much different than the Ravens' schedule. I'm not saying the Chargers are expected to be a better team than the Ravens. Matter of fact, before the season began, when we went through and we made our picks, all of us picked this as a loss. It is frustrating because it felt like it was there. I know a lot of people want to talk about the referees. Josh watched the game sitting right next to me tonight, and a lot of times I was frustrated with the referees. I just don't understand picking up flags. When you're sitting there and you throw a flag, and then you get together and you pick up a flag, and when you watch it and you say, well, it looked like pass interference to me. You threw the flag. It's a home game. It looks bad to me. When you pick up a flag, to me, it shows me you don't know how to do your job. And so those are frustrating at any level. It could be 2 teams I hate. It could be the Chiefs and Cowboys playing. But when you're picking up flags, I don't understand. Why did you throw it to begin with? But yet it seemed like we never knew. It looked like pass interference. Oh, that's weird. It's not pass interference anymore. And so I see the frustration on the side in the comments, people saying, the officiating was terrible. Very, very consistent, as Daniel says. Couldn't agree more, Daniel. That's not, I don't think, how the NFL wants it to go. That being said, you can't blame it right there. I thought the turning point for me, I know we all have a different idea, was Quentin Johnson dropping the first ball on the side, where I thought he had a chance to run it up the sideline, as Troy Aikman said he would, and running for a long time. J.K. Dobbins getting hurt, Josh. Almost like J.K. Dobbins, I bet in his mind, I know if I get hurt, it could be against any team. I just don't want to be against the team that knows I have a history of getting hurt, right? I mean, for his situation, national TV, all that stuff, he doesn't want to get hurt against the Ravens, because that was the book on him, that this guy always gets hurt and can't finish the season. And yet it happened against the Ravens.
Yeah, you got to feel bad for him. He wanted this. Yeah, I'm sure him and Gus Edwards talked about it all week. Let's stick it to our former team. And then JK was great. I mean, I'm looking at the box score. I was looking at a second ago. He was averaging, I think, 6.7 yards a carry. I mean, he had 6 carries for 40 yards. He was awesome. And then Gus Edwards lit the world on fire for 9 carries for 11 yards. So we're happy we have him on our team.
You can pass out drunk at a party and get more than 11 yards. If you just keep falling forward, you're going to get more than 11 yards.
I don't get why Vidal doesn't get in the game, right? If Gus Edwards can't move the ball, you can't give another guy an opportunity. Haskins is not it. Haskins is just the guy that will block, right? I don't know if anybody saw that one play where he's pass blocking, he decleats. I think it was number 50 on the Ravens, one of the best plays of the game, but he's not a real threat at running back. The turning point to me was the J.K. Dobbins injury, a few penalties that really killed the momentum, and then QJ's drop was just massive. The Josh Palmer penalty that they picked up near the goal line, I don't understand how you can call that an uncatchable ball if the defender grabs you and you can't get to the ball, right? Now it's uncatchable because he grabbed me. I think he could have made a play on the ball if he wasn't grabbed. I agree with Dave. Picking up the penalty there just looks bad for the NFL. It's a bad call overall. But I don't know. I think another reason why, Mario, that, the defense was, giving up a lot of third down conversions was you don't have a guy like Denzel Perryman out there, like I said. Yeah. Junior Colson was our 3rd round draft pick. Junior Colson has not really played this year. I think that's a big deal as well. You have such a great rookie class with this Chargers team. You have everybody out there contributing except for Junior Colson. That would have been awesome. And also with Cam Hart, Mario, I think he's so good at this point for this team that you literally can put him out there on, Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman, and then you could have the rest of the defense focus in on Derrick Henry and the rest of the team. When you don't have him out there, it just changes the entire defense. The whole defense is different because of Cam Hart. And if you were to tell me I was going to say that sentence at the beginning of the year, I'd say you're nuts.
Look, I completely agree. And with those guys out too, in this like level of a game, and on like the flip side of that too, though, is like they didn't even have Roquan Smith. Like if they had Roquan Smith tonight, like does Gus have more than 5 yards rushing? Like honestly, how many times does Herbert scramble out of the pocket? Like a lot of that stuff changes, man. Does Disley even, be found in the passing game? Like Roquan affects the game in so many different ways. I don't know, guys. I just keep going back to the fact of we were manhandled tonight. Like absolutely just manhandled. And I think it was shown, and Dave, you kind of mentioned it, like the success that the Ravens were having on third down.
Yeah.
Fourth down, every 4th and 1, where even where it was ballsy, I was like, they got it, man. I mean, they were just winning the battle up front. Like they're just going to move our guys. And another big tell for me in the second half was at halftime, guys. Time of possession. Ravens, 11 minutes, 33 seconds. Chargers, 18 minutes, 23 seconds. At the end of the game, time of possession, Ravens, 30, 57. Chargers, 20, 03. Ravens owned in the second half.
29.
Owned. 29. I'm tired as hell. I almost cussed. They rocked us in the second half. Like that was big boy football. That was SEC taking on the Big 12 tonight. Let's be honest here.
What's 2 weeks back to back? That's what's sad. That's what I think there's be major concern. That's what happened 2 weeks back to back. Bengals did the same thing to us, and the Bengals aren't one of the better teams. So you're going, okay, what is your identity? Goes all the way back to that. Like, what is this team's identity? It will be interesting to see what they do, because there's still games on the schedule where, they should have success, and hopefully they build confidence. Can they stay healthy at the same time doing that? Looking at the early line against Atlanta coming up, Chargers are favored to win that game on the road. Can the Chargers basically fix what their problems are? It's a short week, right? Tomorrow's going to be an off day. And then, all of a sudden you're getting ready for this game. You're going to have Thanksgiving dinner. You're getting on a plane and you're going to Atlanta. And can you fix your issues? Can you get healthy? So many things that you wonder about this Charger team that we have question marks. I know they're 7-4. I got it, guys. You don't need to write on the side that 7-4 is a winning record. I can count. I know how it works. I know which numbers are higher and which numbers are lower. That doesn't make me feel any better from what I'm seeing. I have major concerns about what's happening. I have major concerns about almost every guy on the team right now outside of number 10. That's about it. Now, that being said, when I say that to you and you guys watch the game, how much better do you think Lamar Jackson was than Justin Herbert tonight? What would you say?
It's not even a comparison. I'm sorry. Like Lamar Jackson's really good, and I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan, but Lamar Jackson has a much better offensive line. He has the best running back in the NFL. And Zay Flowers, at this point, I think is just as good or better than Ladd McConkey. Rashad Bateman would be our easy number 2. He has Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. He has so much more to work with than Justin Herbert. I think it's an apples to, I know you agree. I know it's an apples to oranges comparison at this point.
That was my kind of my thing when I threw that at both of you guys, was if I were to say we're going to switch coaching staffs and we're going to switch quarterbacks, I think the deal is it's everyone outside of those two guys is basically the difference. You're right. It's a team, like we said at the beginning. The Ravens went into this season as we're a Super Bowl contender, whereas the Chargers are like, we're going into this season trying to fix what's been dead.
Well, I mean, sorry, Mario. I think Jim Harbaugh going into the year wanted to replicate the Ravens, right? He wanted to have that big offensive line that could protect the quarterback and establish the run game. It's just not the case. We have really good tackles, and we're very questionable up the middle. You cannot win. It's not a sustainable winning model to have weakness up the middle on either line, and that's what the Chargers have right now on offense.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point that you made there, Dave, too, is the Ravens were built this year to win a Super Bowl. The Chargers were built to fix the glaring holes from the past couple of years, and that was no run game. That was nothing that helped Herbert on the ground, and that was what they were going to fix with, and then everything else they were just going to roll with and see what happens, right? Let's go back to the famous clip on Hard Knocks when they trade for Burns, and they go, all right, well, what we're going to do at corner, and the GM goes, I'll play corner. And that's a good example of them being like, hey, we know our weaknesses. It's not like, we're in the scouting room and we're like, like we're convincing ourselves or something. No, we know that what we're weak in. The Chargers know what they're weak in, like their weaknesses are. They're just got exposed to it tonight. And if, kind of look on the bright side, this is probably the biggest bulletin board material Harbaugh and Joe could ever have, right? Because it's like you just faced, the younger brother, and you just faced the organization you just came from, and they just smacked you in the mouth. So now you really know what you need for next time around, for next year, going forward, for the future. So I only expect things to get better, because there's no way after this game you walk away going, I feel really, not exceptional about how we're going to end this year. You go, I know what we need to fix, which I think's good.
We have a lot of money. I mean, that's the thing, is the team has a lot of money in the offseason to spend. I mean, this roster that the Chargers have can look a lot different, and we hope it is that they do a 180 on this roster, because it's not basically a championship team right now. There aren't a lot of weapons. I mean, Lad McConkey, the fact that I think he ended up with 6 receptions tonight is even able to pull that off. If you don't watch Charger football and you live in a different part of the country, you're like, who's number 15? Like, that's impressive. You don't think that other teams down the line are going to say, hey, if we keep number 15 in check, let's let number 1 and number 5 try and beat us. Look, Josh Palmer, man, we all cheer for him, but Josh Palmer is just an average guy. This is always what I said. He's an average receiver. He's nothing exceptional about Joshua Palmer. Quentin Johnson probably had his worst game in the NFL. And we talk about the drop passes. How about the route that he ran that was wrong late in the game to the left side?
God.
I mean, and Josh sitting right next to me goes, the quarterback ran the route better than Quentin Johnson ran the route. I mean, there's so many things that went wrong for Quentin Johnson. This isn't one of those where, hey, let's just pile on. But let's be honest. This is the NFL. This is pro football. You get paid a ton of money to do this job. Unfortunately for Quentin Johnson, there are a bunch of cameras watching you go to work every day. And this was his worst performance. Like, I literally felt bad for him as he's sitting on the bench. He's not trying to drop the ball. He's just not good. And all you people want to say to let's go F this team. Dude, we all know that Spanos had a lot to do with the draft over the last couple of years. I don't know what Telesco did or not. Either way, I'm not worried about it. He's wearing the Charger uniform. That's what I'm worried about. The fact he's still one of the best options that this team has, what does that tell you? And stop talking to me about DJ, and stop talking about Jerry Rice's kid. None of that stuff makes me feel any better. They didn't go out and make trades. Maybe they didn't know they were going to be 7-3 going into this game, Josh. But looking back at it, they should have made a trade. At least a couple, right? Some weapons, something to help Justin Herbert out.
My question would be, do you think they didn't make a trade because they didn't think they're going to be a real threat in the playoffs?
Yes.
Like, it's just a waste. I think that's exactly what happened, because going into the trade deadline, we knew we had a problem. Everybody that has 2 eyes knew the Chargers had a receiving problem. I think the best way to see how good a receiver is, or, what kind of impact they're making, is their targets and then their receptions. Lad McConkey, 6 targets, 6 receptions. Will Disley, I know he's a tight end, but he had 4 targets, 4 receptions. Josh Palmer, 8 targets, 3 receptions. Quentin Johnston, 5 targets, 0 receptions. That's just not acceptable. You cannot have this. And then people are saying on the side, put in DJ Chark, put in Brendan Rice. Davis said this: if Brendan Rice was any good, he would be in there. Like, what does that say about Brendan Rice? If he can't beat out Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer, Jalen Reagor, Darius Davis, then what does that say about him? DJ Chark, I don't want to hear anything about DJ Chark. He doesn't exist. He's never active. He's never on the field. I don't want to hear anything else about DJ Chark. He's not helping the team. I don't even know why people are even talking about DJ Chark. How do you not hate DJ Chark at this point? This guy's supposed to be a guy that's helping the team. Like, tonight would have been nice to have DJ Chark not out there.
I think there's no excuse going forward where Lad doesn't have 8+ targets a game. Like, he has to at this point, especially if we hit playoffs and we're in there. There's just no reason why he should have anything less than 8, especially if we're in a spot. Like, I know our run game really suffered, but we were put in a spot of a deficit. And in order to get that back, you can't run the ball anymore. You got to pass it, especially when Herbert's your QB. In those situations, Lad should be it should be force fed. I truly don't care. You have to. He's the only reliable guy. And I mean, my Lord, Dave, can we just get him a smaller helmet? I mean, he's a bobblehead on that damn field.
He's tiny.
He is tiny, but his head's not that big. Like they give him the helmet that makes your head look bigger than it is. And I want to talk to him like, yo, lad, buddy, I know that helmet might be a little comfy, but brother, you're a bobblehead out there. Like, come on.
What's he supposed to do? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Dude, I
All
think he
right.
has a big helmet, honest to God, because he's small and he takes crazy hits. I think, honestly, he has
think?
extra pad. I think he has like extra padding. You guys
My-
tiny.
One of my closest friends had that helmet and he had it in college. And I remember the first day on campus, he was a year older. I saw him and I was like, Mello, it's we gotta move on, brother. Like I'll come on. Like let's get this going. We can't be wearing the Z this anymore. You just look like a dumbass.
You think he literally has an oversized helmet? Is that what you're telling me? Or you think his body's
No, I just think
small?
that's style. It's not a good style for your head, It's like it's like
Crazy conversation.
no, it's just like when when you got a little flub, okay, and it's like we're gonna go skin tight shirt, and it's like true classics are there, it's just, you know what I mean. Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths.
All right, let's be honest. We called it out with the Steelers game. We said, man, after 2 games, if you were the Steelers or any other team, what are you doing? You're stacking the box. You're stopping the running game. Remember how good this team was the first 2 games with the run? And what did the Steelers do? They gave everyone else the script on how you stop the Chargers offense. If you're the Atlanta Falcons going into the game on Sunday, what are you doing? You're putting a corner on Ladd and you're having the safety right over the top. You're taking him away. You're going to say he's the only guy that can hurt us. You think any other guy is a threat to hurt us? Joshua Palmer's not a threat. And Ethan Tran said on here, I like Joshua Palmer. I do too. So what? It doesn't mean anything. As I say all the time, right? We say it on this show all the time. We've said it for years. There are nice guys pumping gas at the Shell station. Doesn't mean I want them playing wide receiver for the Chargers. Do you understand? Nice guys don't mean anything to me. I want guys who are going to sit there and get us wins. All I care about is the scoreboard. I'm old compared to everyone else, man, that has followed this team for a long time. I don't got a lot of years left to sit there and see a parade. I want to see this team win. That's not how you play winning football to have success. Sorry. There are a lot of things they need to do, and there's nothing you can do with the roster now. It is what we have. Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh said we weren't going to make trades. We're going to hold on to those draft picks like they're gold. So there's nothing that's going to happen there. This is what you have. So it either comes down to do your job, what Bill Belichick used to say, or sit there and say we're going to limp into the postseason. Because right now it is a recipe for very, very scary after you saw what the Bengals did to us and what the Ravens did to us when they controlled the clock, and we could not stop a thing.
Yeah, I mean, the game plan against the Falcons, if you're the Falcons, you're blitzing the hell out of Justin Herbert, doubling up on Ladd McConkey and making one of the other receivers get open, something they haven't really done all year.
Maybe catch a ball?
Maybe catch a ball. That'd be nice. You know what's something that's going to piss me off this week, too, is everybody's going to be talking about the Denver Broncos like they're so much better than the Chargers. I don't believe that for a second. I think Denver Broncos are smoke and mirrors, but everybody's been talking about the Broncos like they're the next big team. It's just going to be louder this week after this crap. We have some star chats, Mario. Do you mind if I get these?
Yeah, we can talk about it later. I think the Broncos are equal. We'll get into it later, but
all right,
I'm going to politely disagree.
Yeah, we can talk about it on the next show.
Okay. I thought the Raiders held them in check pretty good.
Rivalry.
All right. First one comes from Ryan Culpepper, $10. Says, my unsolicited takeaways. We really need Denzel, JK, and Hart. We also really need to dump QJ. I'm over him. Go buy a car wash, you bum.
Car wash. By the way, if he does, can you put one in DC? Because there's not a lot out here.
Yeah, in California, you have one on every corner. But it's funny. I was thinking the same thing. When I travel, I don't see a lot of car washes.
Dude, Nashville doesn't have many either. It's really disappointing.
Dude, yeah, in Indiana, you fart and it's, you're going to stink one up. Like, they're everywhere. But, like, in Chicago and DC, there's nowhere to be found. It's like, I got to wash my own damn car. This is insane.
Yeah, what the hell? Next one comes from Mighty199. Says, I see you acting mad. How much did you win, Mario?
I did not bet this game, but boy, did I get kicked in the left nut on Sunday. I mean, I didn't win any bet. And on top of that, I had a really bad day. I've been running hot. I mean, I told Dave and Josh before. I got into it with someone in the elevator today because it smelled like cigarettes, and I hate that smell. So I've been running hot tonight.
I've been running hot. Okay.
All right,
So
next
people
one.
know where Mario is. It's almost after midnight, so he's a little tired.
Yeah, that doesn't help. When I'm tired,
The
I'm
loss
angry.
didn't help. Yeah.
Yeah,
If they won, you'd have so much energy right now. You'd be like, all right, let's go. Doing
I
3-hour
would. And
post game show.
I would be like giddy to like edit because when you edit, like I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like when we lose and you have to edit and you listen back to the anger, you just get more angry. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
It's never fun. It's like when you go into therapy and they're like, let's revisit your anger, and you're like, now I'm angry. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you're not helping me. Like now I'm more mad.
Let's revisit your anger.
Yeah.
Damn. I'd like to sit in one of those therapy sessions with you.
I
Sit
think
in
I
the
might mic it up one time and just play it for a pod when we need one. And just make
Let's
sure it's good
revisit your
content.
anger first thing. Great.
All right, this one comes from AK 499. It says too many mistakes in the second half. I'm not worried. We will be fine. We do not play Baltimore every week. QJ will be okay. He has had a good year. He just had a bad night. Yeah, a bad night to have a bad night. It's Monday Night Football. We need you. I'm really happy you're good at 10 in the morning against the Carolina Panthers. That's great.
See, AK is always optimistic, but I'm sorry. I mean, QJ, as Josh said, he picked a bad night to have a bad night. Completely took away any trade value. That's for damn sure.
I would go one step further. Just Google his touchdowns. Tell me
Right
where
open.
pretty good schemed. Pretty good scheme on him. Just gonna say that.
All right, next one comes from Joseph Levine, 499, says, I'm convinced QJ has nude photos of someone in Chargers leadership. What is the coaching staff seeing in him?
Yeah, he used to, and then he dropped them. Doesn't know where they are anymore.
You think they're in
You know
his
what
drop box?
I'll be honest. What the Chargers coaching staff sees in him, they see
What?
a guy that was drafted in the first round, and they're trying to justify the pick and his salary. That's what it
It's
is.
not even the same people that drafted him. Like, cut
No, it
bait
isn't.
after this year.
But at the same time, it's maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Right? We heard all the time that hey, one of the Spanos kids might have picked him, so we don't know on what the deal is. Also, who else is an option? It's not like you have other guys out there that can get the job done. It's amazing though how many guys you see that can catch a football, yet he can't. I mean, he's that kid in Little Giants catching the toilet paper at this point. It's ridiculous.
All right, next one comes from Alana Moore, $5. It says, as a therapist, empathy is second nature for me, and I really want to empathize with QJ getting discouraged, but empathy doesn't win games, so I digress.
That was deep.
Yeah,
that was good.
I wasn't prepared for that.
I wasn't.
Alana, you kind of threw me off too. Yeah, I kept thinking as Josh read that. Imagine her breaking the three of us down. I mean, what a complete train wreck. Not enough hours in the week to go to the three of us. Okay.
June 10th, when we have nothing to talk about, that's
Yeah.
a seg. that's a segment right there.
You want to put money on who she says is the most unstable?
You.
Yeah,
It's
actually.
Yeah, it's you.
I'll be the most stable. I'll be the most unstable. Easily.
You are the leader.
All right, next
Yeah.
one comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Sorry. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, she gives us like, have you guys seen the things where you have to hold them and it's like a beep, it's like a vibration?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that? No? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to like, all right, never mind. And the more I was going to explain that, the more I was going to sound dumb. So let's move on to the next one.
That's all right. All right, next one comes from Alan, 199. He says, QJ's still a bum. Yeah. I agree with you. Until you prove me otherwise, you're still a bum. Cool Runnings, 1999. Thank you. Says, can't play psyched out for Harbaugh. We cannot wait for Bosa to go and see this team properly built with cap space. Couldn't agree more. Joey Bosa is holding this team back. One of the few people on this team that I don't like. Seriously, I like this team for the most part, Mario. He's one of the few that I don't.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is the cap space. Like, we don't have to go into the offseason doing math on a calculator, how we're going to, make room for someone. That's going to be nice.
There's nothing there, man. I mean, I can sit there and take shots at him all day long. I don't know. I mean, he might be given 100% for all I know. I just don't think there's anything there. It reminds me of Mike Tyson fighting against Jake Paul. There's nothing there. Like
trying. No, I think
I do too.
Trying. There's nothing left in the tank.
He can't get to the spot. He can't do anything. It's like playing 11 against 10 when he's on the field. Sad to say.
It's bad. Next one comes from Ryan Culpepper, $5. He says, positive vibes that JK's injury isn't serious, please. Yes,
Absolutely.
I'll be praying for that tonight.
Yeah.
Next one from Ryan Culpepper, $2. He says, hit the like button if your name isn't QJ. I like that.
Yes. And subscribe if your name isn't Bosa.
Cheryl Bosa. Next one comes from Mr. Reservation 199. Says, I wanted Jim to get revenge. I can't wait for a wide receiver 1. I think we have a wide receiver 1. I really like Lad McConkey. Maybe a wide receiver 2 or another wide receiver 1. I don't know. T. Higgins.
How much better would this team be if he was our 3?
Oh, best offense in the
Insane.
NFL.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know it takes steps. Maybe next year we're saying he's our number 2. Look, I love him too. Okay, I'm with all you guys that go, man. I love watching when Lad McConkey does his thing. But man, sorry, he's not that. He's not the, he's not Justin Jefferson. He's not Jamar Chase. But if you put him with a guy with that kind of talent, now you're talking. Finally, Justin Herbert has some success. I mean, I'll ask you a question right now. If you're Justin Herbert, you're driving home from the game, and you're calling your dad. What do you think Justin Herbert's saying to his dad? Dad, I'm doing the best I can. I got no support.
Yeah, he's
I'm getting my D knocked right in the dirt, and then if I don't, and I get the ball out of my hand, guess what? I don't know if they're going to catch it or not. These guys can't create space. I mean, it's arguably. I don't know if it's arguably. It's the worst receiving core in the NFL by far.
There's an argument for sure.
Yeah,
Probably
Carolina would like a word.
Yeah, Carolina's a bunch of loves, but everybody expected it.
I'll just your thing, Mr. Reservation. I can't wait for tight end 1. I'm going to call my shot now. Colston Loveland from Michigan. He's going to be a Charger.
The tight end.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and buy stock now. See at the cashier.
I'll say no. I said we end up drafting a guard.
You think we go guard? I mean, you can get him second round though.
I hope.
That's a good draft already then.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
All right, next one comes from Leo 199. He says, Hugh J and Rager is that Spider-Man meme of them pointing at one another.
Dude, great.
I think that's an insult to Rager. Like Rager,
when he dropped that ball, dude, it was very frustrating, right? When he got the ball on contact.
Yeah, Justin threw it late, but he should have caught it.
And also, it got like hit towards him. You know what I mean? Like he got hit. Like it got like that's one of those where like you get hit and you're like, oh, you kind of helped me caught that.
Oh, Jesus. Catch the goddamn ball. You're lucky someone gave you a chance in this league. Come on.
Right?
I can't believe Jalen Rager was drafted before Justin Jefferson. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that video is still the funniest ever. The Vikings like laughing. They're like, really?
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, there you go. That was the easiest draft pick ever.
That's probably the Ravens laughing at us, right? With QJ and Zay Flowers. Like, really?
Oh. Brian Boldinger was trying to even understand it. As me and Josh were like, yeah, can you explain this? You missing something? Christ.
I think there's some more.
All right.
There's a few out here. ZB $5 says, thanks for all the great coverage this season. Ladd is great, but he's not a wide receiver 1 on a Super Bowl team. He's Joey Porter on the Rice Brown Raiders. I mean, he's probably right. I mean, Ladd McConkey's probably not the number 1 on a Super Bowl contending team. I mean, I guess he's probably Ladd McConkey's a really good number 2 receiver, probably.
Right now he is, yeah. Like I think when he puts some muscle on and 2 or 3 years, he could be receiver 1.
All right, you get me a 1, you get me Ladd as a 2, and you get me a pass catching tight end. I'll take it.
Isn't that just the Patriots with Wes Welker, right?
That's what I'm saying. It worked.
Yeah, they had the tight ends and they had Welker. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Edelman. Yeah. Do that. Yeah, Ladd is Wes Welker. Thank you, Jaguar.
Yeah. I wonder why he is.
I don't know. Danny Amendola's like, hey, what about me, guys?
Yeah, what does him and Wes Welker have in common? I can't figure it out. All right, next one comes from oh my god, clip dat for me. Call of Duty content $4.99 says, so is Minter bad or does he not have the pieces? Also, who do we draft first? I don't think he has the pieces. I think Jesse Minter is one of the best defense coordinators in the NFL. When a guy like Denzel Perriman is not out there and Cam Hart, it's very obvious. I don't think that's Jesse Minter's fault. We were depending on Junior Colson to be out there, right? Our 3rd round draft pick. He's not out there. I think Jesse Minter is fantastic. And who do we draft first? Probably a guard. I agree with that. You probably got to go with the guard right now.
I think they go for a guard just for the reason that seems what Jim's all about, right? He's all about old school football and basically the strength of your offensive line, and he'll do everything he can to protect Justin. Jesse Minter, by the way, I can't say enough good things about him. Wasn't sure I was going to translate to the NFL, leaving Michigan. I know it's been a while since he's had NFL experience, but he's been outstanding. Mario was the first one on it on this show, saying we're lucky to have him for as long as we can have him, and I feel the exact same way.
And also, people that are saying like Jesse Minter, like bad game, tough game. Let's just all like remember the players that were out in that too. Like he's facing the best offense in the league. Like this isn't the Raiders putting up 30 points on us, right? Like this is Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP winner. Derrick Henry, offensive player of the year. Zay Flowers, a very good receiver in the league. Oh yeah, and offensive coordinator that really knows what he's freaking doing. And then Mark Andrews, like, you know what I mean? Like the list goes on of weapons. This isn't a one-time off thing where they've had a good day. They always have a good day.
Yeah. And other thing on the side here, everyone's saying how much we miss Denzel Perriman. Look, I agree. We missed him, but Denzel Perriman's not going to the Hall of Fame either. You know what I mean? How many teams has Denzel Perriman been on, including he was a San Diego Charger at one point. Like he's been around the block. And he's about, 5'7", 5'8". He's a really small guy, but man, he loves football. I mean, to show you how poor this roster is, we're talking about missing Denzel Perriman. The Raiders are like, what? The Texans are like, what? Like no one's sitting there saying Denzel Perriman is supposed to be that guy. He's not Ray Lewis, but for this team, he's that important.
He's really important. Yeah, he's very important. I know we've been really negative. There's a couple guys I'd like to shout out.
Why not? We just got our ass kicked on that.
I know, but I know where you're going, Josh, and I completely agree with you because I just saw it and I had in my notes to give him a shout out as well.
There's two guys, and they're putting it right here on that side. Tooley, awesome. Really love Tooley. I think he's great. And then Cameron Dicker, he might be the best kicker in the NFL. Like he's awesome too. I think those guys definitely deserve credit.
Dicker did you know what to me in fantasy because I had Flowers and the other guy had Dicker and we were 1 point game. So thanks for that one, Dick. But obviously did great things for us tonight. Tooley, guys, I think next year is like the year where like he starts getting mentioned as like top 5 edge rusher in the league. He is so quick, so fast, so physical, and so damn good.
He's outstanding. We got nothing but, obviously the Ravens did their homework when it came to preparing for him. I mean, he was, I don't want to say he was non-existent, but if you look at the box score, it's not as impressive as it normally is for him, right?
He tackled for loss.
He had 1 tackle for a loss, 2 tackles in the game, right? It wasn't his typical game, but that's because the Ravens are running away from him.
Yeah, I mean, why would you not want to stop him? He's the one threat on the line. I mean, Joey Bosa is the clear, to me, number 3 edge rusher, maybe even 4 because he's hurt. But Dupree's had better games than him. But Tooley right now is the number 1. Khalil Mack's obviously not the same.
Khalil Mack obviously dressed for this game because he thought it would bring some attention and the team needed him. He wasn't healthy, ready to go.
Still made a play though on that 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Didn't
look like Khalil Mack. It wasn't a traditional Khalil Mack game.
We're talking about turning points in the game. And there's a few that we talked about. How about the play on 3rd down when Derrick Henry stiff-armed Henley, and then he goes around the edge and he stiff arms Still back to back for the 1st down. I was like, what? Like, oh God, he's just different. I think Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are just different than everybody else right now. You can't stop him.
His ability to like literally stay the same all game is incredible.
Yeah. Incredible. How about John's now 3-0 against Jim?
Yeah. Does it bother you at all? The one last thing does it bother you at all that the touchdowns we gave up were to Bateman, Hill, and Andrews? Like, God dang it, like them.
Yeah. Also, that touchdown by Andrews was the most obvious touchdown ever.
That's
what the hell? That's weird.
We're like, when the referee's like feet out of bounds, I'm like, because he didn't get 5 down. Like, what?
What are you talking about? God, that's funny you bring that up, Mario, because obviously the end zone's 10 yards long. if he were to catch that ball like between the 1 and the 10-yard line, he would have caught it on the 6. And they said, "Hey, we don't think he got in." What?
I was so confused.
What's going
by
on
that.
with these guys? Insane.
And I was
What are
like,
you looking at?
Ty goes to the receiver too. Like I was so confused.
Trying to justify it. Yeah, Dave and I were
Yeah.
like, we would like rewind it. Like, no, he definitely caught that. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did rewind it. Couldn't believe what the hell they were saying. It was
And
bizarre.
Sorry, one more thing. And if Elijah Molden didn't knock that ball down, do you realize Fulton would have given up another touchdown?
Yeah.
Like the dude was getting toasted all day. Good God. All right. Do you guys have anything else?
Oh, we haven't answered this one, I don't think, from Clip That.
Okay.
No, we don't tank. He says, clip that for me, Call of Duty content $4.99. He says, so where do we go from here? Do we compete or do we tank for
We're
a good draft
competing.
pick?
Yeah,
It's too late to tank. We got 7 wins.
We got to win it. 7-4.
yeah.
We're going to
teams want to
playoffs.
be 7-4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna be
we
off.
said all year, bro. The goal is the playoffs, and you can't with the schedule remaining.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the games at you. I'm not going to ask you guys predictions, but I'm just so that people know what's coming up. Coming up this week, we have the Falcons on the road, Chiefs on the road, Buccaneers at home, Broncos at home, Patriots on the road, Raiders on the road. That's how it ends up. You aren't tanking at all. This team's going to the playoffs. I mean, I think the last percentage was 98% chance the team's going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. All right,
Yeah,
what
they're
they
going
do
to the
from there
playoffs.
is a whole nother story. But they got to fix some things. They definitely have to fix some things.
And also, like, on top of that, guys, talk about some exciting games coming up. Like Falcons, Chiefs, Bucks. I mean, Broncos. Like, I got a tent in my pants, dude. Like, those are gonna be some hell of games.
Christ, look, Mike Evans is going to be healthy when they face the Buccaneers too. Like, what happened to Mike Evans? Why is he all of a sudden healthy? Like, can we catch a break? You know,
We need Cam Hart.
What?
We need Cam Hart. We need Cam Hart.
We do. But damn it, man. I mean, the other team's got to face the Buccaneers when Godwin's ankle looked like a goddamn cartoon, like it got smushed like a pancake. and Evans over here can't run anymore. All of a sudden, Evans is coming back healthy. That stinks for us. I mean, it would be great if we caught a break once in a while.
You got to beat Tampa. That's one of those you got to win. You have to win.
That's going to be a big game.
That's a big game.
It's going to be a big.
Atlanta,
you got to beat Atlanta too. That's another. You got to win those.
All right.
And then Patriots, Raiders. Come on.
So we're going to discuss show business right here. All right, Mario.
Okay.
Tomorrow, we doing a show tomorrow?
Okay. So actually, fantastic question.
That's why I asked it.
So it's a good point. It's a good point. What do we want our show schedule to be this week?
It has to be tomorrow because Josh has to go out of town on Wednesday.
Okay, that's perfectly fair because I have to meet my niece on Wednesday, and I have to take my other niece for birthday crap, and then I have a nephew birthday on Friday too. So that's what happens when your family members can't pull out.
Nice. Should we do a game preview tomorrow?
How many people right now watching the show don't realize that Mario used to work for Hallmark? He doesn't write cards anymore. He does this. Good guy.
No, yeah, we can do tomorrow.
All right, cool.
I'm going to ask you to go 30 minutes early tomorrow. Can you do it?
At 3:30?
Well, no, 12:30 Pacific time.
Well, yeah, 3:30 my time. Yeah, I can probably swing it.
Okay. All right, good deal.
The more I think on it, yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris, now I'm curious. When you say you have to go meet your niece, is this the one that was just born?
Yeah, she was just born on.
She's asking where's Uncle Mario?
Sunday. Yeah, she should be. The funniest thing about the whole thing is, my brother that had this, he's not the best communicator at all. He was the same one that when they did the gender reveal, it's the funniest thing he's ever done. He goes, all right, I'll tell you, I'm doing it. He goes, all right, like he's telling me we're doing it at 1:30. And then he did a countdown and then he didn't respond to anyone for an hour. And everyone was blowing his phone up because my bad, phone died. Yeah, it's a girl.
Oh my God.
So he texted us. He was giving us updates of everything. I really hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. It's not that bad. But he texted us saying that like, oh, she's here. Gave the weight, and he said 16 pounds. And I was like, 16 pounds? I don't know a lot about babies, but I was like, his wife's like a stick. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
Megan would be like dead. That's like her whole body. And he like kind of stood by it for a little bit and then goes, oh yeah, I meant 6, and like sent a picture of her. And she's like the smallest baby on the planet, which makes sense. And I was just like dying because I was like, he probably sent 16 pounds. And knowing him, he's like, yeah, it's 16. Like, what? You tell me my daughter's small? And he's probably gonna have a meltdown. So,
All right. So tomorrow we're going to go 12:30 Pacific time. You want to join us? This is going to be the last show before the Falcons game. Then we're
yeah,
going to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. So we're going to pick games tomorrow too. Okay. Understand,
Perfect.
Mauro? All right. If we
Yeah.
do your homework on it. All right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Andrew
you do your homework, pal. You probably need it.
I've already
You
done
catch
it.
up.
I already know what I'm doing. By the way, I'll give you a heads up. You and I both had losing records this week.
Dude, I
think
was
that's your
Vegas'
first week of a
best
losing
friend.
record, by the way.
Yeah, that sucked.
All right. Well, you did win the Ravens game. If it makes you feel better, Mario, you said that the Chargers weren't going to cover.
I did get that. That was good.
Yeah.
Josh, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Stuffing.
Damn.
What about you?
Probably apple pie. I like the desserts. Not a big. I eat lasagna mostly.
We do too.
Lasagna. It's great.
We did.
Lasagna's great.
I'm not going to do Thanksgiving this year. I'm going down to Mexico, so I won't be here for the Falcons game.
Oh,
Spoiler
you were
alert.
telling me that. All right, but like, do you have a
All
wedding,
right.
right? This wedding,
Yeah, it's a good old wedding.
dude. That's
All
Mexican weddings are amazing. It's gonna be
yeah.
sick. Yeah.
Here's the funniest part. All right. So, Mario, I grew up traditional Thanksgiving and, the whole deal, the turkey, the stuffing, the potatoes, all that stuff. I like all of it, by the way. But, man, when I married into an Italian family and all of a sudden lasagna became a staple, none of it matters to me. Like, I don't need anything except the lasagna. Just make the trays of lasagna. And then Josh, who just got married a couple months ago, his wife says to my wife, hey, can you save us some lasagna? And I straight out, is she effing crazy? Does she think lasagna is still going to be here by the time they get back from Mexico? There's no chance. And she goes, you're right. You won't be able to control yourself. I said, I will not. She goes, I got to wait till they come back. I'll have to make a separate tray just for them. I go ahead. I'll eat half of that one too. But I was like, so it was a cute question, but she doesn't know the history of lasagna in this house. It's gone. It's gone by like that night. We make like 3 trays. I eat easily a tray and a half on myself.
It's
I can't
war.
stop. Yeah, it is war. Lasagna is war.
Yeah. If you want to hear a crazy thing that we're doing, I was told this today, and I was like, guys, this is kind of absurd, but like, what are you gonna do? We're doing Thanksgiving at 1 p.m., which is fine. But then, like, I was like, guys, that's not giving, me a lot of time to wake up because I'm probably going to be a little hungover. I want to get banged up, and then I need to prep myself for my meal. And so I was like, you guys got to give me some time. And so I was like, all right, that's pretty quick. And then from there, we go to a birthday party for my niece that's turning 3. And I was like, all right, so I was like, well, what? It's a quick halftime. You know what I mean? Like the halftime to prepare for both meals is gonna be really, really quick.
The birthday dinner should be before Thanksgiving dinner. You guys are doing a
100%.
reverse.
You think I was doing a reverse?
Doing it wrong.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna need a nap anyway. She's 3.
Yeah, that's.
By the way, Leah, I see on the side here. Leah was at the game today. Great tickets. I don't know if you can follow her on social media, but pretty good. Sorry that you flew all the way out here and the Chargers lost, but that was pretty sweet setup. She knows somebody on the 50-yard line. That's all I'm going to say. Jeez, that was wild. And so, real quick before we get out of here, people are commenting about the uniforms. We throw better in the yellow pants. You guys like the uniforms tonight? Didn't like the uniforms,
dude. I like those uniforms.
Someone said we're 0-6 in those uniforms. What did you say?
Cool.
I like them too.
Yeah, I like those.
I like them too. And Jim likes those the best also. I think because they look like Michigan, but those are his favorite too.
Yeah.
We can't win in those.
Can't win.
Damn it. All right. Are they playing in the all royal uniforms? Are those out? Do you have any idea, either one of you?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. All right.
I think they're out.
All right. I'll look at it. I feel bad for
it's,
guys.
it's almost 12:30 in the morning.
I know everyone thinks you're either stoned or falling asleep. So both. Oh.
No.
So
Very sober.
I'll look it up. I feel bad for the equipment guys. Like, do you know how long it took us to change all those face masks out from yellow to navy blue and change the lightning bolt on the side of the helmet? And you guys lose the game. I mean, all those guys work their asses off all week trying to make those uniforms look cool. And then they drop another one in the Navy.
I always felt bad when you like the people that like you get blood on it and then they have to take it. I'm like, it's my bad. That is.
By the way, Derrick Henry, even though they play on turf, his uniform always looks like he played on grass. Like he is slamming that body into the ground nonstop. You see how dirty his uniform looked?
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy.
It's like Gus Edwards a couple games ago. His number 4 was coming off his jersey.
Yeah, we gotta get
ripped it off himself. Yeah, we got one more comment.
We got super chat.
Best friend of the show right here, Leah Smith, 1999. She says, would have been an extra 0 if we won. Just kidding. Love you guys.
No, that's nice. All right, we're gonna be back today at this point. The way Mario's looking at it, right?
Yeah. We'll be back live action. I'll be more
12:30 Pacific time. We'll be ready to go. We're going to talk about the Falcons game. And, of course, we'll make our picks as well. But appreciate everybody who dealt with this team the rest of the way. And, again, subscribe, like the show. I don't know what to say. QJ, man, I hope you find your hands. I don't know what to tell you. But we're all disappointed in the effort tonight and the way it worked out. So we feel it with you.
Yep.
Anyway,
comment your favorite Italian.
What?
I said comment your favorite Italian. Since we're all Italian, we talk Italian.
But his favorite Italian. Yeah. All right. We'll be back again on Tuesday. Thanks everybody for watching the Bulk Crew podcast. From Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. We'll see you at 12:30 Pacific time Tuesday.